I've been drumming for about 8 years. I've been doing vocals for about 2. And I also just hit various instruments for comedic effect. My bandmates do not like me, ever.
I've been making music for like 12 years now. I learned how to play piano when I was like a little tiny baby.
So you're only 12?
And I was like really tiny, so you should be polite to babies because they're small. So I was very small and learned how to play piano, and then I went to Hawaii and we got a ukulele, and I didn't like it because it was broken. But I liked it enough that I fixed it. So then I learned that, and I learned guitar, and then I learned bass, and then I learned trumpet because I was sitting there and I was like, what's the most worthless thing you can learn?
Wow.
Sorry.
I played trumpet for like 5 years.
Yeah, played is the, it's like past tense. Yeah. But, no, yeah, and then I know I do a little bit of drumming, a little bit of whatever, but songwriting is really my passion. I'm working on a new album, but I don't know, like apparently now it's just, like whatever, I'm officially retiring from music as of today, so. No, it's coming out in like a couple months, and actually we're going to do some jam sessions this con, so it's going to be pretty super fun. We might put out like the little whatever, but probably not, because like everybody who will be jamming with me will probably be like, okay, I'm not going to go down to your level, so it's going to be cool, it's going to be super fun.
I've been making music for about 12 years as well. Started with piano and just moved over to, here's that one, bass and guitar. And I only recently got into digital production. That was about 2 years ago, and just been doing that ever since.
Cool, okay, I'm probably the least experienced here. I don't know what 7th experience is, but I started, like I said, I played trumpet, but that doesn't mean that I know anything about music. I could just read the notes and play them and know what finger movements go where. About a year ago is when I actually started producing electronic music, a year and a half ago. And I took a year off college, so pretty much for 8 hours a day, the whole summer I was just producing music, so I advanced pretty quickly and started making music about ponies. Oh, my story.
True wisdom.
So basically, I've been playing piano since I was about 6 years old, so for about 16 years I played piano. Didn't actually start writing music until about 8 years ago. I started with a really crappy 4-track drum machine. It's possibly the worst music you've ever heard. And then I moved on to electronic music, and I've been producing that for about 8 years or so. So I still am not very good at it. I try.
I've been, why did I just suddenly become Southern right there? For no reason.
Not well.
I was like,
They're in Nebraska.
I guess I'll fit in. I've been making music for about a year and a half, and I was spurred on originally by, I started using virtual DJ to just mix music that I heard from Alex S. and Wooden Toaster and a bunch of other guys, and eventually I just wanted to move on and actually start composing my own music. And so I've been doing that for about a year and a half now. So that's pretty much it.
Does the audience have any questions?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? Hey, how you doing?
That's a question.
That's a question. I see two? That's one. Yeah. Also, what are each of yours preferred digital audio station if you have one? So, show you, which is going to see 90% of
I'm actually a Pro Tools user. It is awful, and I do not recommend it to anyone.
Somebody to run this panel also.
I really like Famous Tracker. It's pretty cool, and also people don't know what it is, so I don't have to explain it. So. It's super hipstery and just video game stuff, whatever. Interrobang Pine knows how to explain it. I don't know what a tracker is, honestly. It's just like, it looks smart when I'm using it, so whatever.
thought you used Reno.
Spreadsheet with dots on it.
I use FL10, FL Studio. It's does what I want it to, and that's.
It loops fruits.
Yeah, it does. This does very well.
Okay, so I started out with Mixcraft, which was terrible. I know, right? It was a bad program. My first 3 songs were on it, and then I switched over to FL Studio 10, and because I'm going into mixing and mastering as a career, I have to use Pro Tools, which isn't bad for audio editing, but it's terrible for like synthesis and that kind of thing. So if you're going into recording and multi-track recording, it's good for that. But other than that, it's good for
I also use FL Studio. Before that, as I said, I used a
FL
4-track.
Studio Master.
Yes, you're right. Before that, as I said, I used a 4-track, which uses a cassette tape, which is awful because I have no sense of tempo whatsoever in my head. It's awful.
Are those from like the 80s?
Yeah, no, it was from the 80s. Yeah. Same with the drum machine too. And then after that, I used Pro Tools, a version from the 90s for 2 seconds, and then I was like, I'm not doing this.
Wow.
This is pretty
Very
terrible.
good decision.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be the hipster of the group here and say I use Ableton Live 8
You was the hipster.
because nobody else currently uses it.
Omniphone uses
Is he here?
Omni, I'm pretty sure right now is not here.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where he lives, so
I
I do have the Skype, but
can't remember.
Skype in Jersey, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is New Jersey, but I'm not certain.
It is New Jersey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
stuff like that. But yeah, Ableton is like the greatest thing ever, and it's what I use. And I really want to get Ableton Live 9.
Why are you talking to me, the audience?
Because you're right there. There's the phone and mic.
Any other questions? I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina.
No, now we get to
Oh yeah. Who wants it?
Job.
It's job right now.
That's a job.
You have one job.
Where are you from, Jojo? From Jojo?
I'm from Colorado, actually. I live in the middle of the forest, and my parents keep me captive and make me watch My Little Pony.
So I'm from Seattle. Other famous Seattle musicians include such greats as Jimi Hendrix or Kurt Cobain. I'm thinking that if I can live past 30, then I'm definitely in a good place as a Seattle musician.
Yeah, I already answered. Yeah. Blue.
Okay, I drove in from Illinois, and that's the only place I've ever lived ever, and it's a terrible state. There's nothing to do there. It's flat, and there's lots of trees. So,
Don't forget about the corn and the crux politicians. Those two.
and Kanye West.
There you go.
Now, I'm also,
And Obama. I'm really sorry about that.
I'm also from Illinois. I'm from like the very center of it, so I don't get out much. There's just corn.
Yeah, people in Illinois don't want you.
I'm actually from Olathe, Kansas, which is a small suburb right next to Kansas City. So that's where I'm from.
Peace.
Peace out.
Any questions? Do you have any questions for us? What are you guys working on?
Oh, I have an idea. What are you guys working on?
Nothing.
We're musicians, but we don't do anything.
Nothing. I just like my Pro Tools open, and I let it record everything that goes on in my room. All day, all the time. No, but really, I'm working with a 3-piece band at the moment. It's not particularly fandom related, but it's a Denver area, just like live band, and we've been writing music and doing stupid stuff, and it's actually been a blast.
I'm working on an album. It should be out within 6 months, but that's the thing is like, I really don't want to like put it out or like or whatever until I actually have a podcast with my associate, who's in it? I think it's Jack Lab, and Foos, and Kathleen and several other people. So actually, we're working on episode 6. It's finished, it's edited, it was recorded. We actually just recorded it earlier this week. So we're going to be putting it out. This is an epic in-joke.
None of this is true.
I'm putting an album out, and it's going to be really fun. So I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope you all forgive me my mistakes, and I hope you those of you who want to get some else.
Not doing anything. Right now, like, what I want to do this summer, because I've been really, really busy this summer. Did I? No, I didn't.
I'll sit coming out there. There you go. Okay, cool.
I've been ridiculously busy this school year, so what I want to do, like, I'm working on an album right now. It's got about 3 out of maybe 8 tracks done, and after that, I want to be able to. This summer, I want to release a single every single week. And
Single every single week?
Yeah.
Wow, every single week?
Like, I don't know, just, I want to do music full time this summer. So I got that, got probably another album after that, and then back to school. Summertime fun.
What's the question?
What are you doing?
What are we working on? Okay, so right now I'm doing a Mass Effect to Pony crossover, which is kind of weird. If anyone likes Mass Effect, it'll be very enjoyable. With Fox Cinder, and she's done a couple things for the community. Really good singer, check her out. And that'll be done whenever. And then I have an EP that I'm working on, and I need to work on my set for Pon3Con, which is coming up incredibly fast, and I haven't started. So if you're going to Pon3Con, I'll see you there.
So I just released my first album like a month ago, and I've just been kind of busy with schoolwork for the entire last month. Now that that's over with, I'm going to try to write more music. I used to put one out like every week, but I'll try to do that again, see how that works out. I also have my set for Pon3Con. I'm also going there. And maybe if I can learn how to play guitar, I could release some really hipster sounding post-rock and crap like that.
He's an old school guy.
Yeah, it's too bad I don't know how to play guitar though. I still play it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm working on, I'm doing a remix contest of one of my songs, and I'm hoping to get that done and have the EP out within the next few weeks. And I've already gotten a couple of entries, and I really hope that the rest of the guys come through and give me some awesome entries so I can actually get prizes out to people. Other than that, not too much, but I hope to work on a lot more this summer because I'll have tons of time with absolutely nothing to do where I live.
Summer, as you can see, is a good year, or a good time of year.
My favorite game.
It's a good time of year for brother musicians.
It's a good time of the year to
Since
not
we're all in
ask why
school.
when it's Lyra and Bonbon.
Yeah, most musicians don't have to deal with actively being in school, but running musicians, you're in luck.
Is there a problem?
No. A little bit of hostility.
Hey, Jackal, when Autumn rolls around, can I travel with you for the opportunity?
Absolutely not.
Let's talk exclusively about Urban Village.
Why was just doing so good?
What is the song that your least favorite?
Least favorite song?
Yeah, your least favorite song you've done.
Oh,
Would that be okay?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
What song?
Okay. What is the least favorite song that you've ever done, composed, or performed? Or done?
So just any song you've done, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Phrase that down a bit.
Janice, you can start.
Oh, can I now?
Well, I hate all of my songs, actually. They all suck. Just about the same.
Let's see. Hello. I can't start a sentence.
Get on with it!
No!
Get on with it! I've got an hour to go.
I don't really have a least favorite, to be honest, because I have never been pleased with any of my songs.
You don't even have a
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go last since I asked the question.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go next. Seriously, the curse of any musician, I think, is you're never satisfied with your own work. And that has remained true for every song that I've made, and I've made a lot, 28, so, yeah, right? Maybe they'll disagree with me, but to me, that's how it is. Now you can.
Thanks. Thank you for your permission. I don't know. I really don't like a lot of stuff that I put up. Like, I've been working a lot harder on just techniques and production and learning how things work. And looking back, I'm not satisfied with anything I've ever put out so far. It's a little, yeah.
So everything.
Yeah. No. I like some of them. Like.
So what's the number one
Least favorite?
least favorite?
Okay, I did
Name a
lie.
name.
I'll tell you my
Name a name explicitly so we can put it on the internet.
It's not important.
That wasn't really your song, was it?
Thank you.
I'll tell them my favorite. What's your favorite?
My least favorite, well, a
Oh,
lot
wait,
of
we did least favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Sorry.
Probably when I first started making pony music, I was pretty bad at music, mostly because I just kind of didn't show it to anybody. I just kind of released it, which is bad. Don't make music and not show it to other people. It's generally a bad idea. But if I were to pick one, I'd say one called Assert This, and there's probably a good reason you haven't heard it.
Do you have?
I think my least favorite song that I ever made, if you can even call it a song, was probably the first piece of crap I ever turned out, which I don't even think had a drum beat, and I literally called it Swag. That was the entire title.
Wow.
Nothing else. It was terrible. I hate it with a passion. I don't even think I have the file for it anymore. I think I wiped it off the face of just existence, even thought. But yeah, the song sucked.
Seems to be a karma. Okay. With the word. So yeah. Okay. My favorite song was, I'll do both. Okay. My least favorite song was the first one I ever did, which somehow got an EQD. I have no idea how. But yeah, that's my least favorite. If you check my channel out, don't look at it. My most favorite is This Day Aria, I think, my This Day Aria remix, and Ballad of Wonders. It's kind of a tie between those two. So. All right, new question?
You didn't answer the favorite part.
Oh, he remembered.
You didn't tell me favorite.
Okay, so
I did.
the least favorite song that I ever did, personally, was probably Progress, which is because it's like, what? Well, it's one of those songs where it's like there are good parts of it, but the entire thing is like just this stupid monster that like I made the decision to like mash 3 poor songs together, and like under the assumption that I was like, oh, it'll make like one decent song. Not at all. Not at all the case. Yeah. But yeah.
As you can see, we have no idea what we're doing in music. Like, they're just,
Yeah.
Did no one ask that?
Do you mean favorite songs in general, or one that you've made? Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, so I guess I'll say, I've been doing this a couple times. Who I am doesn't matter. What are your influences? We'll go with yes.
Oh, sweet.
Chimed in.
Let's see. My influences mainly are like strange progressive rock drumming, because that's something that it's just got all these like intricacies and all these intense like fills and stuff that I listen to and I go, man, I really wish I was physically capable of doing that. And then I go sit behind my drum set and just kind of like wail on things and just get depressed and cry.
I would have to say, like, probably, I know, because it's one of those where it's like, when you talk about influences, like, a lot of people expect it to be like, oh yeah, I like blues a lot, and you're like, Led Zeppelin, and it's like, oh okay, well cool, I can hear that, you do a lot of blues stuff, you know? But honestly, I do a lot of like weird kind of cerebral chiptune BS, and I know, like honestly, when I'm just sitting there like listening to music and listening to like people who affect me, I think it's like kind of big style like bebop jazz, where these people were like, they had these like really serious personalities, and it's like, the music doesn't sound anywhere the same, but it's like, they were really cool people, and that's pretty awesome.
Like,
yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah, like you.
stuttering is useful.
I know, honestly, I'm really super fond of like, Charles Mingus is like one of my favorite musicians ever, so if you ever have a chance to listen to him, he's like super way talented. Charlie Parker and John Coltrane are names that everybody should know, but I know Coltrane, like they varied a lot during their career, but like Charles Mingus is like the greatest jazz musician who ever lived, in my opinion. And he was like pretty awesome too. He would like hit people with his bass and stuff. Yeah, he was very angry. Yeah.
Nice anger.
Not really sure. Like the music that I listen to, when compared to the music that I make, is like huge. There's a huge discrepancy. Like I don't produce what I like to listen to. It's weird. But well, that's not like a concrete like 100% true a little bit. I'm influenced a lot by like a lot of electro pop, like especially for the Griffin Village stuff, like Owl City, obviously.
Whoa. Is that the name?
Together, man. But also like a lot of IDM, like the Flashbulb, and who else? I like Pendulum a lot. I don't know. I've been getting a lot more into more EDM kind of stuff, just dance music. That's what I've been getting into lately, and I don't know, just those types of bands, I guess.
So I listen to, outside of the community, I listen to like Deadmau5, Cone Sound, Skrillex, sorry. I know people think he's overrated, Skrillex. I like a few of his songs. Yeah, and then Owl City, Pendulum and Bass Nectar, you know, just the big EDM guys in the community. If they're popular, I'll listen to them and probably like them. I'm pretty flexible when it comes to what I enjoy. And then in the community, Taps influences me a lot, and a few others. Like when somebody sends me a work in progress, that's influencing me to create something on my own. But I really don't produce what I hear. It's the same thing with Jackalab. When I hear a song, like a dubstep song, I'll go and make like trance or house or something like that. Or I send songs to people and I ask them, what genre is this? And they'll tell me like things I've never even heard. So, yeah. No, people will be like, oh, this is ambient chill step. And I'm like, what?
As far as my influences go, there's a lot of them. I make a lot of genres of music. It kind of varies from week to week. And as Jackal said, I'm also very influenced by people like the Flashbulb. I listen to a lot of Aphex Twin, Nation Snares. For And of course, Daft Punk, a lot of their stuff influenced me. And as you said, Pendulum as well, I guess. Lots of drums and bass. I tend to like darker drum and bass, like maybe Evil, Intent. Noisia, yeah, the better one. Yeah, and also I have a weird taste for crap that sounds like the 80s. Yeah, I'm influenced by people like Kavinsky and Laserhawk and things like that, but...
Yeah, you and Dino.
Yeah, me and Dino.
Dino?
Yes. Yeah, I could probably spend an hour, but I'm not going to. But, yeah.
Well, why not?
Outside of the fandom, probably I'm influenced a whole lot by Daft Punk, or especially recently I've been working on a lot of like just remixes and tweaks. Nothing I'm probably going to end up releasing, but I just have been messing around a lot with stems I've gotten from their songs and stuff like that. But also Pendulum and Knife Party even. They're an awesome group. I really love Knife Party, and it sucks that they broke up Pendulum, but they did. But in the fandom, probably, I know Wooden Toaster has influenced me a ton. I love the way he does his melodies and his music. Yeah.
I like downloaded the MIDI file for his Beyond Her Garden song,
His
and I was
his
blown
melodies are
away.
insane.
Yeah, like I'm like, I could not do this. I would have to try really hard.
But I'm also influenced by some pretty obvious people like Alex S. and Pony, but even some small-time people that I'm good friends with, like people you probably never heard of, like Durpex and some really underground names. Pretty much Brony Underground.
Actually, some of them are really good.
Yeah, it's
like
sad
surprisingly
such
good.
little attention.
Yeah. Excuse me.
You should like leave. You just lost the game.
We're kidding.
And we were playing this whole time.
Can you not?
We're kidding.
I'm not. No, but that's pretty much it. I could go on, but it would take a lot of thinking and me just rambling like now.
If you guys want, we can ask some more questions to them, or I can ask some more. I mean, does anyone have any questions?
Oh, yes.
Nice.
You?
Me?
Yes.
Jack Black, are you gonna do any more collaborations with Living Tombstone or not Wooden Toaster, Mike the Microphone?
I might work on something with Tomb. Maybe. I've been talking to him a lot recently. He possibly doing some vocals for him. Probably not.
Anyone else?
Proved he didn't need
You?
Will I be doing collabs with Tombstone? No, probably.
I feel a little bad for late to the party, so I got to miss the introduction of some of the faces I'm not familiar with. In addition to just introducing yourselves, what do you do when you hit your writer's block for a musician? Do you just listen to more music and feel inspiration from that, or do you sometimes do something like out of ball, like paintball or something else, and you feel some weird influence out of that?
I'll start by saying I just make something really, really terrible and keep doing that, not releasing any of it until finally I just get out of it, and usually whatever I come back with will be pretty good for a while, and then I'll start thinking that sounds
Trial by
childish.
fire.
Anybody else want to answer this?
Yeah. Well, I'm Local Dash. If you weren't here for the introduction,
Yeah.
I make ambient stuff and it's sort of like harsh basses with smooth leads, I guess is the best way to describe it. But anyways, when I get writer's block, which happens a lot, I just got out of like a 2-month music block, which sucks. The thing you just have to keep doing is make music like nonstop. Just even if it sucks, just make something and then throw it out and make something else until you get something that you sort of like have this flow with, and you'll know because you'll just like make a song in a day.
Almost like a hook for yourself.
So what?
Almost like a hook for yourself. Just
Yeah,
something that pulls you in.
exactly. I don't really listen to other people because for me, and a lot of people are different, but for me, when I listen to other people's music, it sort of acts as a bigger block. I don't know what it is about that. So I tend not to listen to very much music at all. So.
Jack Black. Yeah. Whenever I hit a writing or music or production block, I'll do a lot of what he does. I'll just make as much music as I can. I'll just make tiny little doodles. Like, I'll just have project files with like one.
Take a picture of us.
Great. I'll just have like project files with like one instrument open and like just a tiny little melody line, and I'll just throw it out and start another one. And whenever, like, I'll end up, sometimes when I want inspiration, I'll just go through my old files. And I'll just go through everything I've made, and suddenly, like, I just didn't happen to be in the right mindset to continue making that song, but then maybe later I'll have that mindset again, and I can work on it. Like, a couple of my songs, I've just found them again, and was able to complete them just out of pure luck, I guess, just chance.
So sometimes when I feel uninspired, I find it's useful to just like think about like Lauren Faust and what like a nice person she is. And then like sometimes like she'll like come to me like in spirit and she'll say, Derpy Rubes, listen. Listen. You should write a song, seriously. And I'm like, no, seriously, get out of here. What are you doing here? My parents are doing home soon, get out. But she's really polite, and I feel bad just telling her to go away all the time, so I eventually do something, but, you know. It's not an uncommon experience, I'm sure.
I can't top that. But like realistically, something I do is like I am always listening to music. I got my 120 gig iPod and I'm always playing something. If I feel like I'm like, I think it was you mentioned earlier, like you said listening to stuff you feel kind of hinders you a little bit, right?
I don't tend to listen to music when I'm blocked. I'll just like not focus.
Yeah, I think, I mean, just kind of popped into my head that perhaps like the reasoning for that is because like maybe when you're listening to stuff like that, it tends to make you want to try to do exactly that, and that's always kind of a gray area.
You want to live up to their expectations.
Yeah,
you won't be able to.
Yeah. And one of the things that really helps me get out of that mode is sitting behind an instrument. Like I have that luxury. I know a lot of people don't, but I just sit behind an instrument and we'll jam something out. And I also have the really, really big luxury of having other people to jam with, and that I think is the biggest thing. Because sitting down with another musician who has their own ideas and their own concepts and trying to play off of that and do your own stuff while they're working with you, that can get you out of a block just like nothing else, in my opinion.
All right. Any other questions from the crowd? All right, you.
Favorite song by a growing artist that isn't in this group? Oh, I had it.
The Funeral by Band of Horses.
I really like, oh dang. Yeah, I know, it's hard to think of. I like almost anything that Griffin Noah puts out. The guy behind Friendship is Witchcraft.
Yeah.
Like, he's got some ridiculous chord progressions that I just love.
Yeah, he came out with more.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
And I think a favorite song in particular, maybe Sunshine and Celery Stalks.
Oh.
I think I swear.
That's great. That was a great song. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Feels good like that.
There's so many. But I think one of my favorites is Omni Pony way back when. I think the song was called Equestria in Gray. I'm not sure. I think that's probably one of my favorite songs in the fandom. And then Your Face by Taps. I don't know if anyone's heard that. But that's a pretty good song too. So those are two that I can think of off the top.
One, I have to say, may or may not be an unpopular opinion, but there's a song off Balloon Party called Hurricane Dial.
Oh, yeah.
Psy is brilliant. If you haven't looked up Psy's music, you're missing out.
Sidebot.
Sidebot, 9,000.
Oh, yeah.
He's crazy.
He's just a sampling.
He's a sampling genius. Any other, I'd say, like, a lot of Cretina, however you do Cretina. His French House, like, Zakora and Every Pony's Gay for Brayburn. It's just great. Just great. Good songs.
I've been racking my mind here for the past few minutes trying to think of one, but I'd probably also have to go with the Syncretina song. All of them. Out of all this pony music, probably his remix of Racist Barn. That's a really good one, his extended remix of Racist Barn. That barn does not like anything other than, orange ponies.
And other barns.
Yeah, and other barns. Yeah.
Do we have any other questions in the crowd, or should I just make up some stuff? Making up something is. Who do you guys think is the most underrated musician in the Brony community?
That's a good one.
I've thrown down the gauntlet. Deal with it.
Cat's Millionaire.
Oh, Cat! Yeah!
Kitty Fazbear.
I'm trying to think of people who aren't like exploding right now. I would have said Evening Star, but he's like huge now, so
Hence the term underrated.
underrated.
Somebody that people like, even when he sucks, and you're like, no, listen.
I'll come back to me.
Probably like Foos or German Pie.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're really nice.
Yeah.
Actually, Foos is like really, really, really talented. He's like a lot more talented than like everybody else. Like honestly, like Foos is like all that bullcrap I said about jazz was just like whatever. Like freaking Foos is like, like Foos has like more culture in like 30 seconds of like a demo track than like the entirety of American freaking like musical output over the past like 200 years. Foos is a kind gentleman, and he is just the nicest little. He's so super nice, and he's handsome, and also he does bar mitzvahs. So.
Are you waiting for your sponsor check?
A couple years late for me, but all right.
So if you see Foos and he's coming up your way, just give him a high five or like a treat or like an ice cream. It's traditional, and if you don't, Krampus will get you. So.
You already answered?
Yeah, I answered. Cat's Millionaire.
Oh, crap.
That's
You
my
didn't
answer.
answer it, though. Yeah, I'm still thinking. I don't.
I'm trying to think of any really little-known musicians that have amazed me, and probably Dirtpex. But he got a lot of attention early on, but he's still pretty underrated in my opinion, because he's made music that a lot of it depends on what you listen to it on. But sometimes I'll just load one of his songs, and when I listen to it, it just blows my mind how amazingly produced it was. And then the next song won't be as great, but he deserves a lot more attention than he has, honestly.
I mean, I could say Psy again, of course. Please look him up.
He's been around forever.
He
started the.
He started Toast Beer.
Yeah.
There is. I kind of like ambient music a lot, and Resonant Waves is a really good ambient artist, as well as one called Kyoga. Kyoga does more dark ambient stuff, and he does rock as well. Orchestral too.
A lot of
Yeah, kind of. you still thinking, or?
I got 3.
Very
Yeah, I don't
nice.
know where.
Go for it.
Okay, so my 3 are, I started in music, Jazz Freedom. He makes some ambient orchestral stuff, and in the year that I've known him, he's gotten really good, and he doesn't have nearly as many subs as he should, so. Yeah.
I got one that I didn't mention.
Okay.
Okay, I just thought of a really good one, and that is Centennial. He really does not have enough ever, because he has made some of the most amazing music I've ever heard. And you've probably heard his music, and just don't know who he is.
He was on Balloon Party.
Yeah, he was on Balloon Party. He made Bronies Are Weird, and that was still one of my favorite songs.
I did a sick cowbell remix of that one. Sick cowbell.
Where's the Cowbell Party?
Where's the cowbell party?
That was the funniest album.
Yes.
But a song of his that I've been listening to a lot lately is Squiggly Jig, which is still one of my favorite songs of all time. It has the greatest melody ever constructed by mankind. And that's all I have to say about that.
That's something else to add. Okay, so clearly you guys, or I don't know, maybe you remember stuff well, but I don't. If you don't remember the musicians we're mentioning, and you want to check out like really underground musicians, usually EQD's Music of the Day, check that out because that has a lot of the underrated musicians in it, and you can find some really good stuff on there. So don't just check out like the spotlight posts, which are amazing. There's really good music there too, but Music of the Day definitely, and you'll get like 20 songs on there every day.
There's also the Brony Musician Directory.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Huge listing.
Yeah.
Like there's like a couple thousand Brony musicians.
People who aren't on that.
Yeah, so it's a lot. You're not going to know all 1,000 Brony musicians, but definitely look through that.
Sweet.
All right, I guess we probably have time for one more question, so if there's anyone in the crowd. Yeah, this is like, it'll break. So, you with the bucket, I guess. Let's go with you.
I was wondering if you guys would have any tips on how to program drums better.
What do you mean by
Oh,
Can we?
okay.
This guy's actually a drummer, so he might actually have some
I'll change that to how to get
I'm a
started.
drummer. Sorry, that was very mean. I apologize. Honestly, I've been drumming for about 8 years, and the biggest thing I can say is if you're going to start trying to do electronic drums, do not listen to don't listen to like a bunch of like acoustic drums and try to emulate that, because basically to a drummer or to many musicians, you're going to be able to tell, like if you're trying to use like acoustic samples and you're trying to make it sound real, it's not going to, no matter how good you are. So basically the best thing to do is to learn a little bit of theory. I mean, if you can go, I don't know what kind of school you have already, but take like a theory class if you can. It is the best thing you can do, like ever, I swear. It is the best. And what you want to do, like, I don't know, I've got like this grand scheme in my head that is not coming out of my mouth. You need to embrace the fact that electronic drums are going to be different. You need to embrace the fact that with electronic drums, you do not have the limitations of physically hitting stuff. And you need to embrace that, because me personally, like if I'm drumming, I cannot play 122nd notes like down like 19 toms.
You actually can. It's not.
He's just not on your level.
And I think some of the coolest things like that I've ever heard personally, and this is again from just an opinion, but when you have electronic drums that are actually doing something melodic in the song, it is one of the most killer effects I have ever heard. Like seriously, it is some of the coolest stuff. And just pitching toms, pitching kicks, even pitching snares if you wanted to, it is cool, and if you do it right.
So, like, what kind of music are you trying to make?
I make a lot of dubstep and dark ambient.
Okay, so are there any, like, musicians you want to sound like in particular?
Probably Borgor.
Okay, sample some Borgor. No, so what do you, I'm not familiar, what do Borgor drums sound like?
Well, he uses really extreme basses. They almost sound like, if you've ever listened to death metal, they almost sound like death metal growls.
Okay. We'll do that.
Just go your mic, go,
I don't know,
and it'll work.
for programming drums specifically, like, just go sample hunting. Just go find as many drum packs as you can, layer your drums. That's a huge part of it. Just, you gotta just study, like, how drum EQ works, like, which frequencies are being hit the hardest and what will make a drum pop through the mix, that kind of thing. And just find those kinds of references. And then when you're putting together, like, a snare, for example, just, if you want, like, I can't, like, think of specifics, but layering drums is probably the most important part. Like, just a single sample isn't gonna sound good enough. You just gotta put something on top to make it cut through, and something on the bottom to make it, like, audible and sound good. Yeah, there's layers.
Here's some claps.
Layer all your claps. Every sample you have.
Well, to add on to what Jackal said, I could go on for hours because I'm majoring in sound production. Basically, find loops. I know, bear with me here. Just find some drum loops and play the drum loops over whatever song you're creating. And then if you like the way that beat is, get rid of the loop and try to create it your own way using your own samples. So just analyze how that beat works, how it sounds. Try to EQ that drum sample to sound the way it did in the loop that you heard, and that'll give you a feel for really how it's supposed to sound. And then, you know, I've been making music for a year and a half. Just don't get frustrated, because drums are arguably the hardest thing to get right and to mix and to make, you know, come out in your mix. So it took me forever to get it right, and I'm still learning. So just use compressors, like watch YouTube tutorials on how to use compressors, transient shapers, EQs, learn where the, like Jackal said, where the outlying frequency is. So that's what I can offer.
So basically, what all them said, definitely do. Maybe you could give me a bit more of an idea of what Borgor does specifically. Like
He makes his own genre of dubstep called doorstep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Al doorstep.
Okay. And so his drums kind of have a death metal scream sound to them, right?
No, his bass is.
His bass. Okay. Okay. And how you mix the drums in there is what you want to know. How you program.
Yeah.
Definitely sidechain compression. You want that bass to just go away when that kick is playing, more or less, or else it will just get buried. Especially if the bass is just really heavy. Just watch the EQ. Watch where the frequencies will muddy each other, and then just kind of mix accordingly to what sounds you want to get out of it. It's kind of subjective, I guess you could say, but yeah, that's the best I can do. I'm not very good at mixing.
And then we had song like
I actually have a question for you. What DAW do you use?
Ableton.
Oh, you do? Well, for actually getting drums to sound good in Ableton, what I like to do sometimes is use the Beat Repeat built-in plugin for it. And that's really good for getting it to sound, like, just add randomness and the kind of nice breaking up of the drums in it automatically. And so it does a lot of the work for you. But also EQing drums is almost always a necessity. I always do that. And compression is also, yeah.
Those are like the two best places to start to get your drums out of the mix is compression and EQ. Just read up on that. Like spend your whole day reading about EQ.
Also, always use a limiter. I learned that the hard way. Always use a limiter.
Clipping is bad. Unless you're super self-aware.
Is there anything else wants to add to that, or is
Well, okay, the last few things to add to that. Okay, no, I'll keep it short. I just thought of this real quick. Don't make like your kick stereo. You want your kick to be in mono, and sometimes it depends. You also want to sum your hi-hats to mono and pan them left and right. It'll give the sound a little more depth to it. It'll set the sound stage up. Also, reverb works nicely at giving the drums a bigger sound, and so does a 10 millisecond delay for reverb. On a delay, and then panning the delay a little bit to the right, and that all help make your drums stick out. So I hope we sort of explained enough to give you a start at least.
All right, and with that, we got to bring this panel to a close, but I want you guys to give a round of applause to our... hopefully, this will be